Welcome to the OrcaTorch D920 long use review. Here we'll look at the good, the bad and the ugly, and some modifications I've made to make this torch better for me. I've been using the OrcaTorch D920 light for over 10 months as my main dive light. My overall thoughts are I love this light. The best thing about it is the brightness and run time. The negatives about the D920 are the weight and the size of the dive light. But these two issues don't really worry me, but I know it may affect some other divers. I appreciate that OrcaTorch made the D920 the way they did. It has a huge output which obviously requires the battery size to run it and be able to run for a long time. OrcaTorch could have reduced the output and the run time to create a smaller dive light that would be comparable to their competitors, but they chose to give us the brightest light available on the market. Personally, I don't have any issues with the D920 light. I think it's a great flagship product. One thing to note is that the battery is sealed into the torch and is not removable. I guess OrcaTorch have made this decision to prevent flooding and other user type errors. OrcaTorch have advised that the battery should be good for 1500 cycles. So for me that would equate to approximately 25 years at 60 dives a year. Or 10 years if you dive 150 dives a year. It would be a return to your local OrcaTorch agent to get the battery replaced. Now I did say that this long use review would cover the good, the bad and the ugly. So let's jump straight into the worst thing about the D920. Surprisingly, it's nothing to do with the dive light itself. It's the Goodman handle that OrcaTorch use on all their technical lights. When I first used the D920 with the Goodman handle, I thought I must have been missing something. The design is poor and clumsy. The handle is designed so that the adjusting nut can fall off, and the Goodman handle can dismantle underwater. I honestly scratched my head on this. It seems like you have to turn the nut 10 times to be able to swing the handle, but only 12 turns for it to come apart. Over exaggerating, of course. A quick fix if you've got one of these Goodman handles is to just grind or file down the indexing feature. This will allow the handle to swing into position without having to undo the nut so far, which in turn will keep you further away from the nut coming off altogether. The long-term fix would be to design the nut correctly so that it's captive. If we have a look at some of their competitors, they've designed their Goodman handle so that the nut is captive. The other issue with the Goodman handle is the balance of the D920. Because of the large battery, the light is back heavy. It also extends back up your arm and can foul with your dive computer. I figure if I'm going to all the trouble to fix the nut on the Goodman handle, I might as well address the balance. I 3D printed some replacement parts to test the balance. The first one I shifted the weight too far forward, so I printed another until it felt better. I must admit, I've never gone to this much effort to fix a problem myself. I hope this shows how much I think the D920 is great, but the handle is poor. I simplified the design so I could make the parts in my garage with just simple hand tools. Obviously OrcaTorch could make something a lot better looking than this. I tested the D920 with the modified Goodman handle and it was well worth my efforts. There is no stress or anxiety about the Goodman handle coming apart underwater when you change its configuration. This is how it should have felt out of the box. Even the balance seems better. I'll share the modifications with OrcaTorch and hopefully they'll look at addressing this. So I know I said the size of the D920 will be an issue to some divers, but honestly it wasn't for me. And I've actually made it larger by bolting on a GoPro. It probably looks unwieldy and massive, but I've dove the torch in this configuration from the beginning. The GoPro mount is just a simple bit of aluminium angle with some holes drilled into it. The GoPro mount doesn't interfere with the Goodman handle operation. Obviously it doesn't fit in the OrcaTorch case anymore with the GoPro attached. So I 3D printed a hard case to protect the D90 and the GoPro without having to dismantle anything. The file for the 3D printed case is freely available on MakerWorld. So the long-term conclusion is that the D920 is my favourite dive light without issue. It just comes with a poor Goodman handle. I hope this review has been helpful.